Not safe for work. What age did you lose your virginity and how did it happen? Hi Reddit guys. Subscribe now, or I will leak your secrets. I am on Reddit. 14 while being drunk out of my mind on a camping trip to Austria. Hooked up with a 14-year-old German boy. First time for both of us. I was on my period and bleeding all over the place. Finished the night by puking. Yeah, not a fine memory. 13. 7th grade. Was dating a 14-year-old 8th grade girl, who was also a virgin, for 5 months. There had been lots of kissing and heavy petting and dry humping going on for several weeks, and then she told me her parents were going to be gone all day and that I should get a condom and come over. We lived in a very small town of only a couple thousand people and everyone knew everyone, so I was scared to go to the drugstore to buy condoms. Ended up going to the gas station and trying to buy them out of the machine in the bathroom. Couldn't figure out how to get the machine to work. Went to my girlfriend's house and told her, and she went to the gas station and had no problems. I didn't realize the quarters had to be stacked together in the turny slot thing. What can I saw? I wasn't thinking clearly. So we are at her house and I am in her room, which was mind-blowing in itself. It smelled so good in there. She told me to get undressed and get under the covers and she'd be right back. She went and changed into some lingerie set. It was dark green and very high in the hips. Totally 80. Not flattering at all actually. Kinda funny looking in my opinion, but I definitely didn't tell her that. So even though we had fooled around tons before and knew about foreplay, as soon as she got in bed I went straight to doing the deed. She had told me that it might be painful for her, so I went super slow. Still only lasted about 2 minutes. LOL. I apologized for not being able to go longer. Said I was too excited. She said she could tell and that it was good for our first time. We hung out for a while and then I left before her parents got home. She flushed everything down the toilet as to hide the evidence. Well, it didn't go down. Her mum found it. She was surprisingly cool about it. Got birth control for her. I can't actually recall other specific times we had sex. 20 plus years ago. Oh my god, I feel old now. But I know we had sex pretty regularly, and even though we used condoms and she was taking the pill, we still thought our leaves were over a couple times when she was late. We dated for a total of about 18 months. Until she cheated on me with my older cousin. Yeah, small town. He gave her herpes. Gotta love karma. The last bit smiley face. 15. I just wanted to get it over with, but we ended up falling deeply in love and dated for several years. He was my best friend. In my room, in my bed. It was accidentally perfect. It was 1994, I was 14 and it lasted almost a whole Nirvana song. Must have been Tourette's, aka the shortest Nirvana song at 1:35. Good lord, what's with all the people here losing their virginity in middle school? 14 or 15. Her older sister put us up to it. It was the 60s and we kind of felt it was our ethical responsibility to experiment. We were really more friends than dating. Her older sister had once showed us how to French kiss by demonstrating on me. We were all quite relaxed about it. I can peg the date roughly by the Beatles. We had just acquired Sgt. Pepper's and were probably listening to it at the exact time. It was at her house. Her parents were out. Her sister was in the living room waiting to hear how it went. What I remember most, the way she folded her clothes and put them into a neat pile as she undressed. And how tightly she squeezed her arms around me. Late teens. Another gentleman and I, both virgins, enjoyed adult relations to Pink Floyd, Animals. We got some time alone and did that. Crazy how so many of these answers are by people who were sexually assaulted when they were a minor. Sadly, sexual abuse is more common than we think. 13 years old. Seduced by a 23 years old married woman with 2 kids. So, statutory rape is a thing. 14. Incredibly overplanned and awkward. Age 11. Babysitter abused my sister and I sexually for about 2 years. In a nutshell, she slowly groomed us and took advantage of a neglectful home life to exploit us for her own satisfaction. I don't remember these years fondly. I, F34, was a few days from being 18 and I was tired of being a virgin. It was less than spectacular. He was too nervous and lost his arousal. I was 17. I've met a 25-year-old guy online and I went to his place. We talked for about an hour and then we had sex. That's what I was hoping for by meeting him. The age difference may seem like he took advantage of me, but that's really what I wanted. He didn't even know that it was my first time. I never saw him again. I didn't like him so much. 16. We were both virgins and ran away together. We did it under a beach house near a state beach about 100 yards from the sea. They had an APB on us and we got caught the next morning. I was 21 attending a local broadcasting trade school and there was a girl in my class that I had a crush on. Surprisingly, the feeling was mutual and one day after class she got us a room, read, cheap alley hooker motel outside downtown Detroit, and 6 of the 9 TV channels were peen. Definitely an experience lol. Everyone here seems to be in their late teens, but I, 29M, lost mine at 21 to a girl in college. Most of the people I slept with actually said they lost it in their mid-20s, but they are older than me. One woman I dated actually lost her virginity at 30. In all instances, we had a discussion before doing it. Never had a one-night stand. I had bad ex and good ex. People have called me handsome and hot, but I don't see it too much. I don't work out too much and I have been rated 7 out of 10 by a few people, so I'm definitely not a model by any stretch. I bring this all up because I want to address the nervous guys on here that feel like they'll never have ex in their lives. My advice? Relax, you'll be okay. Follow through in things you like and put a mild effort into your appearance. $80 at Target goes a long way for clothes and exercise equipment. Go ahead and ask her before you make each step. Date, McKeown, Exy time. If she says no, stop making moves on that girl and you gotta move on. It won't be easy, but you'll get there. Remember, the girl you want to sleep with might have the same sentiment to you as well. That's what makes sex feel so good in my opinion. Bold of you to assume I lost my virginity. If I keep it until 30 I'll become a wizard. I was 14. My uncle was in the same room as me while I was playing on my phone. He saw my notice and saw incognito tabs, which had peen on them. I looked at him and he was smiling at me. He then made me touch his private parts and unzipped his pants. I was so scared that I was shaking and shivering, just praying that my parents would walk into the room. But unfortunately, they both had gone with my aunt for shopping. I was raped that day by my own uncle. I still am traumatized from that day because when he was done, he threatened me, saying, "Don't tell your parents or friends, because if you do, you don't wanna know what'll happen to you." I was 15. A non-blood related family member got me very drunk and raped me. The micro peanuts I think made it less horrifying, but still. 17 in the back of my girlfriend's car before school in a gravel lot next to a little league field. Girl and I were 11, in same class having the preteen love. Ex-ed happened, curiosity increased and had an alone time of 5-6 house on a day. Damn 11. I didn't even know how to jack off until I was about 12 or 13. At 17, by having ex. I'm 18. I have not lost it just yet, but I'm going on a date with this really cute girl later this week, so wish me luck. Well, seem I was a lot later than everybody here. 25. Yup, I was friend a girl that I met trough World of Warcraft, of all thing. For a while, I was always at her place to play video games or chill. I saw signs she might be interested in me, always hugging me, laugh at the stupidest jokes I make, always inviting me to stay and sleep in the same bed. So I finally made a move, kiss her and moved in permanently the next day. Even tough, our relationship did not end the way I wanted. We still lasted a good 4 years together. 16 years old, in the back of a mid-80s Chevy Cavalier convertible. In a mall parking lot. Top was up and it was dark. Didn't bring a condom. Went in raw. Was awkward. Not at all spacious and spent the next month a nervous wreck until she got her period. Which of course, according to her, was totally on time every month except for this one where I probably blasted the biggest load of my life inside her. She was a week late, but she got it. We hadn't been together very long and basically slow faded each other after that. I was 19. Looking back, I had several opportunities earlier than this, but I was a total chicken shoot when it came to talking to girls. Anyway, I was working in a supermarket in the deli. One night while closing, one of my co-workers approached me and said, "You've had plenty of chances." I'm like, "For what?" I should mention she was 24 and married with 2 kids. She then says to kiss me. I was a little confused, because I had no clue this would be something she'd want until she said something. Anyway, we ended up making out for a few minutes. Then the next day she comes over to my house and we get to it. I was done in about 2 seconds. It was so embarrassing. She was totally awesome about it though, especially since it was my first time. We just kept messing around and went for it again and it was much better. We ended up hooking up several more times and I was falling for her. I went into work one night and she wasn't there. I asked why she wasn't there and they said she had come in earlier with bruises all over her face and quit. I never saw her again, but she did call me once like 3 months later. She called and asked if we could be just friends. I was young and heartbroken and so I said no. I sometimes regret that, but it was probably best for me. She never did explain what happened or why she moved suddenly. I can only assume one of her kids told their dad about me. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will leak your secrets.